Hi, my name is Yulin Lee. I am the Money, Wealth, and Financial Coach. Today, I'm doing the part 4 of the Suddenly Single Again series. And today's topic, I want to discuss whether you should keep the marital house. Now, this is a very common thing that the couples have to make a decision as they go through the divorce process. And for most of the clients who come to work with me, and they're all women, they generally speaking would like to keep the house initially, and that's their initial desire. Because from their perspective, it gives them a little bit more stability, both for themselves and for their children. And I think, from an emotional and logistical perspective, that makes sense. Just less, disruptions. And then there's also this fear that I see also very common is that with women going through this process, the fear of, oh my God, if I have to leave, where would I live? Am I going to be on the street? And so there's a lot of, obviously emotions and fear going on. And so this is where, in the divorce coaching process, where I would take them through the analysis, because for some family and some couples, it may make sense for her to keep the house, but for others, it may not make sense from a financial perspective. So here's an example. Many years ago, I met a lady who went through a divorce and they split the asset half and half. She took half of her assets in the house, in the equity of the house, and he took the rest of the liquid assets, all the money in the investment accounts and in the retirement account. Now, she did not have a job herself. She had 3 kids to raise. And with that arrangement, even though they were divorced, her entire livelihood is still very much tied to him and, tied to his well-being. If something were to happen to him, or if he somehow can no longer make the payment or is not willing to continue to make the payment, for whatever reason, her entire livelihood is still dependent and really much tangled with his affair, right? And so from a financial perspective, but also just the overall stability for her life, for her own life going forward, she had no stability from that perspective. And so this is something that sometimes people don't think about when they don't look at it from a financial perspective. And this is where, divorce coaching really comes in to help to go through the various analysis and to be able to see what would it look like if you were to keep the marital house, and what would it look like if you were to sell it and take the equity out, and for someone who's going to be on her own with the children, and she would want to have some liquid assets to make sure that she has real security. And so this is just like anything that we've seen in the big economy, right? When there's a crisis, when there's a crash, liquidity is the king. And so we have to make sure we have cash on hand to deal with any kind of unforeseen things that might happen in life, because that's just part of life. And so I wanted to talk about this today because I want to bring more awareness to this issue. It is a very common thing that most couples have to deal with if they have a house together. And but oftentimes I see that women or the person who hasn't been making the money, sometimes not making the best decision for herself going forward from a financial perspective. And so I want to share this to bring more awareness. And then if you or someone who is going through the divorce, please pass on the information, and I hope that's helpful to her. And as always, I am here to answer any questions that you may have. Either comment below or send me a message, and I would love to connect. All right, I hope that was helpful, and see you next time. Bye-bye.